So welcome again guys. Today we are going to start this chapter called as statistical quality control, and this is your very important chapter from your industrial engineering point of view, and many examination has this syllabus statistical quality control in it. And so we are going to see today a brief introduction and everything that this chapter is all about, and a quick revision of this chapter also. So let's get started. The chapter name is statistical quality control. So this is this chapter, statistical quality control, is a technique, and it is used for it is a statistical technique basically. So this is statistical technique used for improving and maintaining quality. So we can by applying this technique we can improve the quality, right? And we can maintain the quality. Analysis of data by statistics. So we can analyze the data obtained by this statistical quality control method. It was developed by W.H. Sheward, and this is very important information. So just remember the name of the scientist who developed this, W.H. Sheward, right? And variation occurs but in a predictable manner. So here the variation is occurring but in a predictable manner. So this is very important. In a predictable manner, we can predict this variation, and accordingly we can plan our plan our method or plan our method of production, right? Now let's get started. What this statistical quality control chapter is all about, and what are the various things that we study in this chapter. So statistical quality control is broadly classified into two categories. That is, first is control chart, right? Control chart, and your second is your control chart, and second is your acceptance sampling. So control chart, basically control chart means whatever product within the range of this control chart we are going to accept it. And acceptance sampling is basically if we collect some samples and that sample is satisfied our needs, then that is a acceptance sampling basically. And it has three methods: firstly single sampling plan, double sampling plan, and multiple sampling plan. So we are going to study these in detail also. But control chart are very important from your exam point of view, and a lot of questions are asked based on these control charts. So let's get started. Now control chart are classified into, first is your variable chart, and second is your attributes. So what are these variable chart? Variable chart consists of X bar chart. So what is this X bar chart? X bar chart is basically mean chart, and R bar chart is a range chart. So whatever product which comes into this range chart, we are going to accept that product, right? And whatever the product that comes in this mean chart, we are going to accept it, right? So this is how this control chart and variable chart works. So now attributes are basically whether the product is good or bad, right? So in this we use P charts, NP charts, and C charts also, and U chart. Now we are going to see about variables and attributes. So what does this represent? What does these variables and attributes represent? So we are going to see about it, right? So which type of data that this variable and attributes gives us, right? What kind of a data this attributes gives us, right? So as you can clearly see here, data that is variable data. What kind of variable data are we getting? So by using measuring instruments we can get some variable data. By using some numbers we can get variable data. So here accuracy increases, time consuming also increases, and cost consuming also increases. So in variables, these are some data that we can get. And in attributes, what we use is we use limit gauges: yes oblique no, good or bad, defective, non-defective. So these are all the attributes that we use for getting the data, right? But in variables we use measuring instrument, numbers, accuracy, and this is also time consuming and cost consuming. So moving on. So as you can see, what is this data basically? So as you can see, these are some data that we obtained by variables, by using variable chart like X bar chart, R chart. So if we find the mean of this data, what we will get? We'll get this mean, sum of all and upon sample size. So this is your X bar chart, right? X bar. Okay. As you can see here, and for mode, you calculate mode by this method, right? So by this method you can calculate the mode, very easy method. In the mode, basically we don't calculate all the sample size, we just stick to the we don't repeat the sample size, basically. That is for mode. So here if we use large number of sample size, then it becomes normal curve. So as you can see here, if we use large number of sample size, it becomes normal curve. This is a normal curve. This is your normal curve, right? So, and this is how your frequency diagram is taking place. Now, as you can see here, natural variation, right? Natural variation which is predictable. So normal distribution or Gaussian curve, right? So this is your normal distribution or Gaussian curve or bell-shaped curve. So this is your norm. You can say that this is a normal curve. So in normal curve, we get to see these all the variations. So for example, if we consider Six Sigma standard, then we can get 99.7% variation. So this is your Six Sigma standard. This line represents Six Sigma standard. So we can say that 99.7% sample are getting accepted, which is very good, right? Now in 4 sigma, you can say that only 95% of the sample are getting, 95.47% of sample are getting accepted, right? And in 2 sigma, 68% of sample are getting accepted. So 6 sigma gives us more number of variations, right? And in 6 sigma also 3.4 defects per million are there. So 6 sigma is a very strict standard, you can say very strict standard to follow, and in this standard only 3.4 defects per million can be seen. For 3.4 million products we see one defect. So this is very very good technique. So 6 sigma. Now moving on. So you just remember that this is a bell-shaped normal distribution Gaussian curve, right? Now mean, point where data is balanced center of mass of the probability distribution. So earlier we have seen what is this mean, right? Medium, 50 percentile of distribution, this is median, and mode is most likely value, right, which is having maximum frequency, right? So as you can see here, this is a frequency diagram. So this is having maximum frequency, right? Now sigma square gives us variance, and range is calculated by x maximum minus x minimum. So the thing here to remember is measure of dispersion is equals to range and sigma. So this is your measure of dispersion, sigma and your range. Now variation occurs due to some errors. Now due to some errors, this variation occurs. So what are the errors due to which this variation occurs? So as you can see here, variation occurs due to chance causes, which are random variations, and assignable causes. So what are chance causes? So these are some causes, these occur by chance, right? And assignable causes, these occur by individual errors, right? Now in this there is a minute amount of variation. So in chance causes, minute amount of variation is there, and in assignable causes there is large amount of variation. In chance causes, these variation are difficult to trace and uneconomical to eliminate, and these are easily traced and economical to eliminate, right? Now within the random variation process is stable to use sampling procedures. Variation process is not stable to use sampling procedures. Examples such as slight variation in machine hardness, variation in material, variation in raw material. So these are some variations that you cannot change, right? But in assignable cause, what are the types of variation? So faulty setup, careless or poorly trained workers, faulty jigs and fixtures, different working conditions, different skill among workers. So these can be fixed very easily. Now 6 point, follow statistical law of variation, do not follow any statistical law of variation. So these are some chance causes and assignable causes which cause variation, and variation occur due to some error. Now we are going to see your control charts. So now till now we have seen variables. Variables are due to chance causes and assignable causes, right? We have seen sigma square, that is variance. We have seen range, we have seen median, mode, mean. So now we also seen bell shaped curve, normal curve. We have seen what is 6 sigma represent, basically 3.4 million per defect. We have seen that 6 sigma we have 99.7% approval rating, right? Now we are going to see what are these control charts, and we will see this in detail. Like earlier we have seen that X bar chart and R bar chart are the control charts. X bar chart is basically for mean chart, and R bar chart is a range chart. So why this control chart is important? Now it is a statistical technique for controlling quality. So obviously we are going to control quality in here. It can predict variation before they can occur. So this statistical quality control is all about prediction of the variation before it is going to occur, right? So this is another thing. Now hence corrective action can be taken. If we know how the variation is going to occur, corrective action is going to, we are going to take all the corrective actions, right? So this is another thing. Now for variables we use X bar R chart, right? So for variables we use X bar and R chart, and for attributes we use P and PCU charts. So in control chart there are two charts, for variables and for attributes. Now we have to know 5 things to solve any problem. First we have to know formula. Second, you have to know what type of data it is giving us. Third, we have to know upper limit. Fourth, you have to know lower limit. Fifth, you have to know sample size. So these are the main 5 things which we have to know to solve any problem in statistical quality control, right? Now we are going to see control chart for variables. So this is very important question and very important from exam point of view. What are these control chart for variables? So we have seen control chart for variables, that is R bar chart, X bar chart. So this is your X bar chart and R bar chart. This is the classification basically. Now so as you can see, the formula for calculating X bar chart is a X bar upon N, that is sample size. For R bar chart, R bar upon R, right? Which gives us range basically. Now X bar chart and R bar chart both have upper control limit, right? Upper control limit and lower control limit. So upper control limit of X bar chart is given by X bar plus 3 sigma X. As you can see here, this is your upper control limit for X bar chart, and for R bar chart this is your upper control limit, right? And lower control limit. Now you have to remember this formula for upper control limit and lower control limit. R bar gives us range, right? R bar gives us range. So now you can see here by example that we have serial number 1, 2, 3 up to N, right? So we can calculate X bar and by R bar, right? Now as you can see here, this is control chart, example of control chart for X bar and control chart for R bar, right? So as you can see here, there is this upper control limit and your lower control limit, and this is your mean basically. So if something goes out of control, it will be away from upper control limit or lower control limit. So this is the activity which is giving us out of control. So the out of control lot will not be get selected, and range chart is basically giving us a range. Very simple. So this is your range chart basically. Now as you can see, as we have seen here, random variable charts and assignable cause variation chart. So this is a random variation chart, or we can say a chance, right? A chance cause, and this is assignable cause, right? So here you can say that it is a chance cause, right? And here it is a assignable cause. So if we plot this, we get no sudden change in this random variation chart. It is around mean only. This type of variation is known as random variation, and assignable cause variation. As you can see here, this fifth point is out of control, right? Process oscillating between upper control limit and X bar chart, right? So this process is oscillating between upper control limit and X bar chart. It is a dangerous sign. It is called as extreme variation, and it is given assignable cause. So this is very important to note, that assignable cause, here extreme variation can happen, and in chance cause random variation occurs, right? Now to see more example about assignable cause, we have this indication of trend, right? So if we follow some trend, so we will definitely see that some trend are going out of control after some time, right? So it is a assignable cause, right? We can assign this cause, and we can also see shift type of change, right? That means if a man changes machine and some unskilled man comes to work, then that cause is a assignable cause. We can definitely see a variation on the graph, on the diagram also. So this is how it is represented. This is how it is represented, right? Now we are going to see uses of X bar and R bar chart. Uses of X bar and R bar chart. So it is used for improving productivity, prevention of defects, prevent unnecessary process modification, provides diagnostics information, right? Diagnostic information, provides info on process capabilities. So it provides information on process capabilities, right? It provides diagnostic information, prevents unnecessary process modification, prevents defects, improves productivity. So these are the effects of uses of X bar and R bar chart. We are going to see advantages and limitations of X bar and R bar chart. So for advantages of X bar and R bar chart, as we have seen earlier, it is used to control size, right? So it is used to control size and show the centering of the process. Obviously X bar chart is a mean chart, so we have seen this already. It shows any changes in the process average. So process average, it shows changes. It gives acceptance and rejection decision. So when we look at this X bar R bar chart, we can easily decide if we are going to accept the product or reject the product, right? So very easy decision making is there. It gives the appropriate action for change to modification and procedure. So after seeing this X bar and R chart, we can easily start doing modification if there is something wrong. It eliminates basic course of variation. So if there is a sudden variation, so after looking at this X bar and R bar chart, we can definitely change the manufacturing process, or we can definitely find out the error or the cause and definitely try to change or improve it. So it eliminates the basic course of variation. Now it provides process capability information. So this is very important. It provides process capability information. What is the capability of the process, right? What is the capability of process? It provides this information about process capability. So sometimes in questions also this question is asked, that what are the advantages of X bar and R chart, right? So it provides process capability information. Is the process capable, right? Is whatever the process you have used for statistical quality control, is it capable? Process capability. Now we have some limitations also. What are those limitations? So limitations are basically, it is impossible to understand without training. So it is not possible to understand without training. So we have to go through some training for statistical quality control to understand what is this X bar and R chart are representing, right, and how to solve the issues. It causes confusion in tolerance and control limits. So this is a very difficult to find out tolerance and control limits, so it causes confusion. It cannot be used for go no go inspection. So it cannot be used for go and no go inspection. These are some limitations. Now here is a note that most widely used variation chart is X bar chart. So out of X bar and R chart, X bar chart is most commonly used. Most commonly used is your X bar chart. Very good information, right? Moving on to control chart for attributes. Now earlier we have seen control chart for variables, right? Variables like X bar chart, R chart. Now we are going to see control chart for attributes. Now what are these control chart for attributes? So control chart for attributes are basically, you have attribute chart is P chart, we have NP chart, we have C chart, and we have U chart as well. So here you can see for P chart we have percent non-conforming units, percent defective pieces, sample size may vary, most commonly used for attributes. So this chart, P chart is most commonly used for attribute, while your X bar chart is most commonly used for your variables, right? So for attributes, P chart is percent non-conforming unit, right? Now moving on to NP chart. NP chart is number of defective per piece, number of defective pieces, right? So it has number of defective pieces, sample size is constant. So this is very important to remember. In P chart sample size is varying, but in here sample size is constant, right? Here sample size is varying, right? Here number of defective pieces are there, here percent defective pieces are there, here number of non-conforming units are there, right? Here percent non-conforming units are there. So P chart is basically giving us percentage. Just remember this, percentage. P chart is for percentage, right? Then you can easily remember that it gives us percent non-conforming unit, it gives us percent defective pieces, right? And NP chart as the name suggests, it gives us number, right? It gives us number. So this is very important information coming out from this to remember. It is this very easy to remember this way. Now the thing here to remember in NP chart is sample size is constant here. Now we are going to see C chart. Also C chart has number of defective per unit, and sample size is constant here. So say we can see that sample size is getting constant here, so as you can see sample size is constant here, and this mostly one, that is sample size is 1. Number of defective per piece, per unit, sorry, it represents unit. So remember here per piece is talking about in NP chart, in C chart number of defects per unit, and sample size is constant here, that is mostly 1. And we have U chart, number of defects per unit and sample size varies. So these are some things that you have to remember, because lot of the questions are asked around this P chart, NP chart, C chart and U chart, right? Now control chart for attributes, we are going to see by the use of some formulas for this P chart, NP chart and C chart and U chart. So the distribution is here binomial distribution for P chart. NP chart is also binomial distribution, it has Poisson's distribution C chart, and U chart Poisson's distribution. Now central line represents P bar, right? NP bar, C bar and U bar. Upper control limit, now upper control limit is given by this formula, right? For it, this formula NP chart, C plus 3 under root C bar, U plus 3 under root this. So as you can see here, these are some formulas, you just take a look at it, you can easily identify it whether this formula is for C bar or U bar chart. Now standard deviation is given by this formula. This is very important formula, sigma p bar under root p bar 1 minus p bar upon n bar. So this is some standard deviation formula for attributes. Now we have question here. Process control is carried out. Now we have seen that process control is carried out during production, right? It is not carried out before production. It is not carried out after production control. Not all of the above. It is during production process control, right? Just remember this. Now as you can see here, for P chart and for U chart, right? So this is how we calculate number of defectives, fraction defectives from P chart and from U chart, right? So moving on, what is the difference between variable chart and attribute chart, right? So earlier we have seen that attribute chart, NP chart, and variable chart, that is X bar chart, R bar chart. So now what is the difference between these charts? We are going to see in detail. So the first is as you can see, quality characteristic can be measured and can be expressed in numbers. So in variable chart we can easily measure quality characteristics and we can express these in numbers, right? In attribute chart, quality characteristics can be classified as either conforming or not conforming. So also here quality characteristics are classified and we can say whether it is conforming and non-conforming. Now cost of maintaining the chart is high. So for variable chart, cost of maintenance is high. Data collected by measuring instrument, because the data is collected by measuring instrument and this measuring instrument cost is high. For attribute chart, cost of maintenance is less because data is collected by limit gauges and these limit gauges are having cheap as compared to the measuring instrument. For actual diagnosis of the cause of troubles, these charts are the best suited. So if you want to have actual diagnosis, use variable chart, and attribute charts are not that effective. Sample size is small as compared to attribute chart. So here sample size is small, right? Sample size is generally larger in attribute chart. For each quality characteristic, separate chart is required for X bar and R chart, and number of quality characteristic can be observed as a single chart. So single chart is required. Sensitive in detecting a shift in process. So it can easily detect a shift in a process. Now X bar and R bar chart. X bar is mostly used as a variable chart and P bar is mostly used as an attribute chart, right? Now we are going to see that what are the classification of this X bar, R bar and P chart and C chart. So according to sample size, for X bar and R bar chart, right, R bar chart, sample size is usually 4 to 5. Usually the sample size is 4 to 5, right? For P chart, sample size is up to 20 to 25 or 100. So sample size is more. Any convenient unit of product such as 100 feet of wire or 1 television set. So C chart has this kind of variable sample size. What are the advantages? Provides maximum utilization of information available from data. Provides detailed information on process average and variations for control of individual dimensions. So X bar chart and R bar chart are detailed analysis, gives us detailed analysis, right? P chart easily understood by all personnels and provides an overall picture of the quality. So P chart are also important. Some advantages of P chart, but also provides a measure of defectiveness. So disadvantages for X bar chart, not understood unless training is provided. It may cause confusion between control limits and tolerance limit. Can be used for no-go gauges. And for P chart, does not provide detailed information for control of individual characteristics, does not recognize different degrees of defectiveness of unit production, does not provide detailed information about for control chart and individual characteristics. Application. What are the application of X bar, P chart and C chart? We can control individual characteristic. We can control overall fraction defective, that is percent defective. Control overall number of defective per unit. Type of data required: variable data, attribute data and attribute data. Now we are going to see process capability. And this process capability, we have already earlier seen this process capability in your variable chart, which is X bar and R bar chart. So basically 6 sigma represents your process capability, right? As you can see, this is upper control limit. We have this upper control limit, we have this lower control limit, we have this mean X bar. So whatever product comes under this upper control and lower control limit, we say it is under control, right? So now we can calculate and approve this product. So we have seen that 6 sigma represent process capabilities, right? Now in here, if the product is representing out of upper control limit, then it is not under control and process is not capable, right? Now as you can see here that for A diagram, that is this, the process is very capable, stable and well centered, right? Here the process is capable and well centered. Here the process is just capable and centered. Here the process is off center, corrective action is needed. And here the process is not capable at all because it is going off the charts. So now next, process capability index. What is this process capability index? This index it gives value for utilization. Now it is given by basically upper control limit, upper limit of tolerance minus lower limit of tolerance upon 6 sigma, right? And 1.33, as you can see, it should be greater than equal to 1.33 and it is considered for good value of complete utilization, right? Now we are moving towards second part, that is your acceptance sampling. Up till now we have studied the variable and attributes that comes in control chart for statistical quality control. Now we will see the second classification of statistical quality control, that is acceptance sampling. And here we are going to see that is this acceptance sampling is very simple because it tells us about whether to accept or reject a lot, and it is very simple. So acceptance sampling has two classification, that is 100% inspection and sampling inspection, right? So what is this 100% inspection? So it is uneconomical basically. It is not possible in destructive test. It gives false assurance about completeness of the job. So these are some things about 100% inspection, right? In acceptance sampling, it actually involves sorting and therefore result in fatigue of the inspector. It is time consuming. Acceptance sampling is time consuming and requires more manpower. This method is impractical when a lot size is large. In this method, there is a chance of rejecting some satisfactory material or product. Now we are going to see advantage of sampling inspection. So now we are going to see what are these advantages of sampling inspection. So economy through less inspection and lower number of inspector. Less damage during inspection. Where inspection involves destructive tests, use sampling technique is inevitable. Varying quality levels can be achieved by varying the sample size. It causes less fatigue of inspector. So acceptance sampling is almost used, right, and mostly used, but 100% inspection is very not very often used because it involves a lot of fatigue and lot of time and uneconomical. Now what are the disadvantages of acceptance sampling sampling inspection? So first, there is a risk of accepting bad lots, rejecting good lots. So this is the risk. Some extra planning and documentation is necessary. Sample usually provides less information about the product than the 100% inspection. So this is disadvantage of sampling inspection. Now we are going to see some operating characteristic curves, right? So these are some operating characteristic curves, and these operating characteristic curves are for attributes only, right? So as you can see here, we have certain acceptance level, acceptance quality level, that is 1%. This graph of operating characteristic is plotted between probability of acceptance and percent defective pieces. So this is another question. We have producer's risk, that is represented by alpha. We have consumer's risk, that is represented by beta. Now what is this producer's risk? So it is represented in the graph by this graph, and this is your 5% consumer risk. Producer risk is 95%, 5% is your consumer risk. Acceptance quality level is your 1%. Lot tolerance defective, percentage defective is your 5%. So as we have represented in the operating characteristic curve for your acceptance quality, or you can say acceptance sampling. Now, what is this producer risk and consumer risk? We are going to see in detail. So producer risk is basically even though my lot is good, right, in sampling, if bad product are picked, then the lot will get rejected. So this is your producer risk. And consumer risk, even though the whole product is bad in sampling, if the good products are picked which are less in number, lot will get accepted. So this is producer risk and consumer's risk. AOQL is average outgoing quality level. Now we are going to see some acceptance quality level. What does this mean by acceptance quality level? So acceptance quality level is minimum percent of defective in a lot below which the lot should be accepted. This is the definition of acceptance quality level. Minimum defective below which acceptance quality we have to accept the defect lot. Acceptance quality level is acceptable level. Probability acceptance should be high. Here probability of acceptance should be high. The producer risk is defined as the probability that a lot having AQL will be rejected. This risk is usually taken as 5%. So producer's risk, that is alpha, is 5%. So 1 minus alpha is 0.95%. So acceptance quality for this point is 0.7 as indicated, right? Now lot tolerance percent defective. So we have seen here that lot tolerance percent defective is 5%. Acceptance quality level is 1%. So what is this lot tolerance percent defective? Is maximum. It is maximum percentage defective items in a lot which consumer wishes the probability of acceptance to be low. It represents portion of defective which consumer finds definitely unacceptable. The probability of that lot having lot tolerance percent defective will be accepted is known as consumer's risk. So this is consumer's risk, basically 5%, 95% producer risk. This is normally taken as 10%. So 5 to 10%. This means that consumer actually will not receive one lot in 10 at lot percent defective, fraction defective. Actual levels of AQL and LTPD must be decided by negotiation between consumer and producer. Now the third is average outgoing quality level. So the formula for this average outgoing quality level is percent defective into probability of acceptance. So this is your average outgoing quality level. So is equal to percent defective in a batch into probability of acceptance. Very important formula. Now we are going to see what are these sampling plans, right? So we have this single sampling plan, right? We have this double sampling plan, and we have this multiple sampling plan. Right? So very important. So we are going to see this sampling plan in detail. It comes under acceptance sampling, which is a part of your quality control. So what is the sampling plan? Single sampling plan. Here we are going to see what is this single sampling plan. So inspect a sample. So here we have to inspect a sample, right, of n pieces. Then number of defective found in the sample. What are the number of defectives that are found in the sample, right? Now if this exceeds, then reject the lot, right? If this exceeds your percentage, then reject the lot. If it doesn't exceed, then accept the lot. This is simple single sampling plan, right? Now we are going to see what is this double sampling plan. What is this double sampling plan? Similar to single sampling plan, here inspect a first sample of n pieces. So we have to inspect a sample of n pieces. Find the number of defectives in the first sample. Now if it does not exceed your mark, accept the lot, right? If exceeds the lot but does not exceed the second limitations, then inspect the second sample, right? Then go for inspection again, right? Find the number of defective in both the samples. If it does not exceed C2, then accept. If it exceeds C2, reject. And third is, if it exceeds C1, reject the lot. So these are some double sampling plans, right? So now we have finished our statistical quality control, and we are going to see some multiple choice questions based on this statistical quality control. So the first question is, right, who among the following is associated with contribution to quality control in operation management? So who was the one who was associated? Option E is Charles Babbage, Henry Ford, Frank Gilbert, W. Edwards Deming, Henry Fayol. So we have seen that for quality control, W. Edwards Deming was the one was associated with quality control in operation management. So there is explanation here. W. Edward Deming was associated with the contribution of quality control in operation management. Now, the following chart shows the consistency of the process. So, what are the charts? Options are X bar chart, R bar chart, C chart, and P chart. So, which chart shows the consistency of the process? So, as you can see here, R bar chart shows your consistency of the process. So, here R bar chart is a range chart basically. Right? Out of this chart, R bar chart shows the consistency of the process. Now, producer's risk in acceptance sampling is option A, chance of producing defective components, chance of accepting the defective components by customer, chance of incurring high cost, chance of rejecting the parts by the consumer of specified quality. So here the correct answer is answer D, that is chance of rejecting a part by consumer of specified quality. That is your producer's risk. So basically producer risk is basically when the producer produces some lot and the consumer chooses from the defective lots, then this is a producer's risk. So this is how it is saying. Now C chart is based on which one of the following? So C chart is based on option A, number of defective per unit product, fraction defective in samples, number of defective in samples, none of the above. So answer is number of defective per unit product. We have earlier seen that it gives us per unit product, C chart. Now TQM is related to, so it is related to your quality control, total quality management. So it is your quality control method, total quality management, right? Which one of the following shows the percentage of area in normal distribution curve for 2 sigma? So for 2 sigma we have studied that it shows us 68.26%. So we have earlier seen that as you have seen earlier, so here 2 sigma basically, sorry, 2 sigma gives us 95.45%. So sorry, 2 sigma gives us 95.45%. So the correct answer is the right answer, that is 95.45%. This is your correct answer. Now in sampling, AQL stands for acceptance quality level. So we have studied that AQL stands for acceptance quality level. Now manufacturer's risk is the probability of, so manufacturer risk is probability that rejecting a good lot. So this is the answer. A is the right answer, rejecting a good lot. In operating characteristic curve, abscissa represent. So abscissa, that is x-axis, represent. So we have seen that operating characteristic curve is plot between percentage defective and percentage defective. So we have studied earlier that the operating characteristics are between percentage defective basis and probability of acceptance. So here x-axis is representing, as you can see here, this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. So this x-axis is representing percent defective and y-axis is representing probability of acceptance. So just remember this. So here the correct answer would be abscissa represent percent defectives. And your y-axis represent probability of acceptance. Now which one of the following is not the control chart for attributes? So for attributes we have seen P chart, NP chart, C chart, right? So these are some N charts. So these are some charts for attributes, but R chart is not a chart for attributes, or X bar chart is not a chart for attributes. So here the correct answer is, actually the correct answer is this X bar and R chart, right? Sorry, the correct answer is R chart here, because X bar chart is not represented by this, it is represented by this, right? So this is how this question is framed. Which one of the following charts indicates variability of variability within the collected samples? So here the correct answer is sigma charts. Now moving on to the next question. The probability law used for calculating the control limits of P chart is. So for P chart we use so as you can see here, we have earlier seen that for P chart, we use binomial distribution, not a normal distribution, right? So here the correct answer will be your binomial distribution, not a normal distribution, right? Now if P is percent activity and A is the limit of accuracy in work sampling, the number of observation at a confidence level of 95% is given by. So this is another important question. The answer is D. Which one of the following is not the characteristic of work sampling? So a stopwatch is needed is not work sampling, right? Stopwatch, answer D. Now we have assertion and reasoning type question. Assertion is, in case of control chart for variables, if some point fall outside the control chart limits, right, it is concluded as process is not under control. Okay, this is very right. And reason, it was experimentally proved by Sheward that average of 4 or more consecutive reading from the universe population or from a process when plotted will form a normal distribution curve. So actually these both are correct, but it is not a correct explanation. Now let's move on to the next question, right? So what is this question? Choose a false statement from the following. Now control chart indicates whether the process is in control or not. This is a right answer. X bar and R chart are used to evaluate the dispersion of measurement. This is also right. P chart is a control chart for percent effective. This is also right. C chart is prepared for large and complex component. So this is also right. So we have to choose what is the first statement. So here first statement is X bar and R bar chart are used to evaluate dispersion of measurement. This is the first statement, right? So basically X bar and R bar chart gives us mean and range, not dispersion of measurement, right? Now which one of the following are quality control limits for P charts? So this is very important question. For P charts, what is the quality control limits? So we have seen earlier that this is your P chart. Quality control limits is this: P plus minus 3 under root P 1 minus 1 P upon N. So here the correct answer would be this, C. The upper and lower control limits in case of R chart is given by. So here the correct answer is this. For C chart, upper control limit. So for C chart, upper control limit is this. We have seen earlier. This is the upper control limit. Now Gantt chart is used for production schedule. Gantt chart is a popular tool in project management. It basically drills down activities which need to be done by fixing time period. It is commonly used for tracking project schedule. So this is what Gantt chart is used for, and this is mostly asked question in many examinations. Gantt chart for production schedule. Mathematically, value of product is expressed as utility per cost. So for the purpose of sampling inspection, the maximum percent effective that can be considered satisfactory as a process average is. So the correct answer is acceptance quality level. It gives us maximum percent effective that can be considered satisfactory as a process average. This question is asked in your ESE 2020. Recent question, very important question from the exam point of view. In sampling, AQL, that is acceptance quality level, means. So AQL means acceptance quality level. Fundamental purpose of quality control is to maintain the quality standard of manufacturing items, products at minimum cost. So now these are some questions. Consider the following data for a quality acceptance process, and we have given. These are some things we are given, and we have to find the acceptance quality level. So for acceptance quality, average outgoing quality. So we need to have the formula. This is the formula for average outgoing quality, and the correct answer here is A. Right. Find the traditional non-budgetary control device. So this is operational audit. W.H. Schroer introduced the concept of control chart. Quality improvement planning is related to which category of cost? Cost of prevention. The individual human variability in time studies to determine the production standard is taken care by. It is taken care by personal allowance. Which of the following is not a type of predictable demand behavior? Correct answer is random variation. Father of scientific management was F.W. Taylor. In viewing operation, the parameter to be controlled is the number of defects per 10 square yards of material. Control chart provided for this task. It is C chart for viewing operation. So this is very important question. In viewing operation, parameters to be controlled is the number of defects per 10 square. So as you can see, number of defects per 10 square yard. So this is C chart is used, because P chart is for percentage, R chart is for range, X chart is for mean, and C chart is for sample per unit. So per unit is your C chart. The chart which gives estimates about amount of material handling between various work settings in units. It is travel chart, right? So thank you for listening.